Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome back, finally, to Jurassic Park Dark Secrets, the ongoing Trespasser Customs series that has taken me like 2 years to cover. So we're back here in Trails, where we did start the previous episode on, but then we went off to the HRS, the Hillside Research Station, which is its own self-contained level, as a bit of a detour. And speaking of the HRS, we did have some unfinished business there with the decontamination room that we are going to quickly do before we continue with this level. So let's get into that as I continue walking here, and when we come back, we'll be at the load boundary between HRS and Trails, and we'll keep going from there. Since there's nothing to see off in this direction over here, it just leads to a cliff and a river. That's kind of the boundary of the map in that direction, and power lines that lead into the HRS. So there's nothing to miss over there, aside from maybe some purple mushroom sprites. Anyhow, let's go back to HRS for a moment. Alright, so back here in the laboratory of the Hillside Research Station, we had the decontamination room that was continuously killing me whenever I tried to go through it. Turns out, it's not the decontamination gas that's killing you, it's that somebody hooked up this barrel of poison to the decontamination, so we have to disconnect it. And we'll use the spare Glock to do it. It's a good thing we have a laser pointer here. Alright, so now, apparently, we should be able to get into the decon room without dying.
The sharp tang of the preservative chemicals, the coolness and hush of the sterile chamber, the daily ritual of decontamination.
So that was left there, I guess, as a trap to keep anyone from snooping around in the lab. From the Renegades, I believe they were called. The people who were starting up the research again here. Alright, so decontaminate me.
Biodecontamination commencing.
And give me some of that Euro beat you were about to start. Alright, no choking, no coughing. Just a normal decontamination spray, as it's meant to be done. I still think it's weird, though, that it killed you, even if you could get out of the room. Like, it was just an ongoing trigger. But hey, I guess the building was filling with poison gas. So, let's take a quick look around before we get back to Trails. Alright. Oh no. Am I gonna have to do even more? Actually, can I just fit through this window? Because I think that's the key card that I didn't know what it was for. You know, one of the ones that comes out of Hammond's desk. I think it was the black one. So, I mean, that's just the hatchery. I don't think I can do anything in there.
Looks like they stripped it before they took off.
Well, there doesn't seem to be much of excitement in here. There is a case on the ground, though. Anything here in this biosyn case? Nope. It's the only thing they left behind. Alright, well, what's through here? A lone crate. And a whole lot of nothing. Turns out, it wasn't that exciting getting in here. I guess the last thing I can try is using that key card here. Let's see if we can get into the egg room, because I believe this is where the never actually completed kind of side mission would have been, where we need to go around collecting eggs from various nests around the island, which are present in the Trails level. There are a lot of eggs you can find. But otherwise, we shall return to Trails and begin our journey of exploring that level. Alright, so we're not quite done with the Hillside Research Station just yet, because it turns out I was right, and one of the key cards is for the hatchery. I thought it was the black one, but it is actually this one, which says HB on it, but I kind of thought that would be like hatchery building or something. Unfortunately, one of the things that doesn't seem to work is being able to get back out of this room once you've activated it. Which is not a big deal, since, you know, you can't actually do anything here, but if it had been an interconnected level, that would be a problem, as these doors lock once you activate decontamination, and if you try to use the key on this again, it will just do the sequence again, but it won't actually unlock the doors. So you're trapped in here once you get in here. Let's use our key card. I made sure to test this key card first in case it was the black one, but I didn't actually go through the door, so I don't know what's going to happen here. If we're going to get some dialogue or what. Also, I'm stuck in the floor again. There we go. The floor is a little low here by the entrance.
The raptor took shape inside its egg and I watched it on the ultrasound monitor. It looked like a ghost or a puff of smoke.
So we've got Velociraptor 1, Velociraptor 2, Coelophysis. What's that say? Unidentified. Triceratops. I think that's Pachycephalosaurus, but it's very, very hard to read. Gallimimus. And Tyrannosaurus. And yeah, so originally there was going to be an egg hunt where you'd have to go around to the various nests around the island and steal eggs, which would then be transported here. I don't know what the end result of that was intended to be, because, you know, it's not like this facility works anymore. I like these dietary charts. I wonder where these are from. Like, are these Jurassic Park resources? Because I can't imagine someone actually made a dietary chart for various dinosaurs. Alright, so that's it. That's all that was in here. Which, you know, I knew there wasn't going to be much because it's an unfinished side quest, basically, for when the mod was a singular map. But yeah, now let's return to Trails and begin exploring that map proper. And we're back in Trails. Though it turns out I was wrong about there being nothing directly ahead of where you start. There's the river there, and you should be able to see the bus just back here, just to give you an idea of where we are. Yeah, okay, so there's the bus straight ahead. So ahead of that, I said that there was nothing over here at all except for some mushrooms. Turns out, one of the things that we're going to need to find for a scavenger hunt in this level is actually over here, and I got lost trying to go the right way, ended up here, and stumbled upon it. So I made a save right before triggering this. But over here in these bushes...
Van Holm ST also still missing.
We have one of the missing hunters from The Lost World. He's got a cross next to him. But why this matters is because next to him is a key, and we're going to have to do a big old key hunt in this level and find each and every one of these dead hunters. So that's not going to be fun, and I'm probably not going to complete it because it doesn't matter anyway, but it's nice that I found one of them right off the bat because I never would have came and looked back over here otherwise. Also, he's got one of these poison dart Lindstrats with 5 shots. And this really weird... It's like they tried to combine a laser sight with a red dot. Like, I'm not sure if you didn't understand how exactly a red dot works, but there's a laser coming out of it. So this might come in handy if we run anything big. Put that on our back. Though it's worth pointing out again that because this is Dark Secrets, it's running in just ATX patch Trespasser, and we don't have the 3rd slot from CE. So now I have to actually try to find the way to go without stumbling into the boundary to the Hillside Research Station, because that will load into that level, and we don't want that to happen. But think this runs along the top of the HRS over here. You should be able to see it in the distance before I trigger it. So we should be able to just kind of sidestep around it. But that's going to be a problem playing through this level, is that I guess this was a pretty central location in, the original map layout, because it is covered in loading zone exits. Now, all of them will pretty much put us into the next level, Forest, which is the last JPDS level that was actually finished to some degree. But we don't want to go there. We want to see the whole level before we do that. So it's kind of me finding my way around it. Okay, I think this is the right way to go. Also, because this is ATX Trespasser, we are missing a lot of the fixes that would prevent some of the pop-in. But, there's the fog to kind of mitigate that. Alright, that's the path to the Hillside Research Station going up there. I think we went straight up there for the last episode. So now we just have to skirt around it to down here, which will lead into the rest of the map. I really wish that Drac had actually, made one of those overhead bitmaps or something for this map. Because he's very secretive. He doesn't like to give away hints or anything. But, when the trade-off is, okay, I'm not going to tell you anything about it, so you're just going to miss a bunch of stuff. Which, I like to try to show off as much of these levels as I can. That's why I want to go back and do a return to that Mountain Road map, because I missed the actual progression in that. Alright, so I think we can make a save here. Trails for real. So we can go this way, or we can go this way. I think this way actually just leads to a bunch of dead-end paths that don't lead to the main area of this map. Because in this map is also the Hunter's Camp from The Lost World. The one where they end up releasing a bunch of the dinosaurs that cause chaos and end up destroying the camp. Which kind of screws them all over in the end. But that's what happens when you send in eco-terrorists to solve the problem. You notice that's one of those characters they never try to bring back or, say they're going to have cameos for Nick Van Owen from Lost World. He's actually not a bad character. I mean, that was, Vince Vaughn? Who usually plays jokey-ass characters who actually had a serious character for once. I'm noticing some trouble with the terrain. But that might have always been the case. Now we got raptors.
This is like hiking in the woods behind my house. We used to pretend we were on a spy mission.
I'm not sure how accurate this laser pointer is. I feel like it's aiming too far down to be right.
Headshot.
That was not a headshot, and I could see the blood on his foot. That was not a headshot. Also, these are the Jurassic Park 3 Quill Raptor. Only one, though. But even the ones in Jurassic Park 3 did not all have the quills, which made it even weirder that some of them did. Probably a waste to use it on raptors, but we don't have any other guns, so use what you got. Do what you can with what you got. Why am I forgetting your name now? I was going to say Camarasaurus, but I don't think that's right. It's the Stegosaur relatives that have those spines coming out of them. Though it is making some actual Lost World sound clips, and it looks closer to the skin in Lost World. But man, looking at these now, I'm just looking at how much better the newer Trespasser skins look. Also another little Trespasser factoid that I guess I never really knew, but in the original Trespasser, the Stegosaurs actually were supposed to attack you with their tail, but once again, a scripting error strikes, and instead they try to bite you with their tiny little mouth. I have to remember that because we're playing JPDS, I also don't have regenerating health, so I can't just be so uncautious around dinosaurs that I just, like, casually stroll past an Albertosaur or something, you know? Alright, another raptor. I don't want to waste all of my poison darts already, but... like, shit. Also, I'm pretty sure if I keep going in this direction, we're gonna hit another one of the forest paths. Possibly actually the one that's supposed to lead to the forest. Yeah, I wish they were a little better delineated. Like, I know it would be extra work, but I kind of would have liked Drac to add just some little signs right before you hit a transition. Like, I think that's a transition over there, because you can see it's a lot lower detail, so we're not going to go that way. But this makes it even harder to do this scavenger hunt without accidentally loading out of the level. I can tell you that, like the other JPDS videos, this one is going to be broken up into multiple parts for this level, because it is still... it's a smaller level, but it's very, like, thin, long path through most of the level. Oh, Raptor found something to eat. I think that might have been a compy. I don't know how he didn't hit me there. If we get enough distance, he'll go back to his corpse. Yeah, so he's like, not worth it. Gonna go back and sate my infinite hunger, because my hunger stat never goes down. I'm kind of surprised that was something that the folks at Trescom never really fiddled about with, but maybe that's not really fixable. Because, as I said in the original Trespasser LP, they had to remove all of their other stats, you know, all of the things aside from hunger, because the raptors would be paralyzed by indecision and just constantly scroll through all their states. But I was wondering if that's even fixable, or if that's just something that can't work in this engine. So here's one of the eggs for that collection thing. I don't even think you can grab it. But that would have been there to be brought back to the hatchery. God, could you imagine if you actually had to individually carry them back to the hatchery with just the 2 default item slots? That would be so miserable. That'd be like something where you really need a backpack mod for this game. Something where you can somehow store a couple items on just like an invisible space or something. Because knowing Trespasser, if there was a storage thing like that, it probably would just be a chunk of the map where there's a tiny box that the items sit in until you pull them out. And the interface would have to be like
Brought that down.
a door that opens up to that little space. She assumes that something brought it down, but like, trees fall, Anne. Through natural causes, not just by dinosaurs. Yep, there we go. We hit one of the fucking transitions. Alright, well, that's gonna happen a couple times in this video. I guess we could just load back to this. But loading between these 2 levels is probably gonna cause some major texture glitches. Okay, she doesn't have multicolor skin, so it didn't break this time. But yeah, like, I know these were just kind of cobbled together by Drac at the end, when everyone else had abandoned the project. At least that's the impression I was given, is that by the point of Trails and Forest, it was just Drac trying to get them finished. And that was a crash, so let's load back in again. Alright, instead of going that way, we're gonna go this way this time.
A forest like this, you could just walk forever and never come back.
Apparently I didn't hit this music trigger last time. It was a couple steps away from where I saved. I don't know what it is about this level. I just find it really disorienting compared to the other ones. Like, when I tried to map this out, I got through a big chunk of it, and then my map didn't make sense to me, because everything was out of proportion to each other, and I was just like, okay, I give up. I'm not going to be able to map this. And that's why we're just playing it instead, with me not really knowing where to go. So what are you supposed to be? Are these the Coelophysis? Probably saying that wrong. I don't think it's Coelophysis. But yeah, they are about the right size. Got more raptors. We got more Chimerosaurs. That's probably not a Chimerosaur. I'm just going to keep saying that is, and then look it up after recording this and be like, oh, you fucking idiot. How did you get that wrong? Which, you know, that happens a lot, but when I'm not sure about something, I do like to try to correct it afterwards. Make up for my lack of knowledge about something. This is also not from Trespasser, is it? It doesn't even sound like the rest of the Trespasser soundtrack. Alright, so we can't go this way because the river will kill you on contact. Unless that's an actual reachable... No, okay, that's on the other side of the water. I actually think this might be kind of near where we started. Is there an invisible wall here? No, I'm sliding down. This raptor's still chasing me. I can't remember if you can get up there. That might actually still be part of Streams, because, you know, Streams is just on the other side of the river from this level. And then the river just ends. Guess that was another thing that was unfinished. Okay. So I think we're actually... This is plains over here. Which means I might hit another edge zone. But maybe not. Maybe edge? Or this might be where the hunter's camp is, because that is on kind of a plainsy area as well. And in fact, if I remember correctly, from the very first time I tried to go through this, like, a year and a half ago, when you go in the plains direction, you'll see the big fence, and that's how you know to turn back. Because if you get too close to the fence, you'll hit a loading zone.
October 1996. The InGen Corporation is taken out of my hands by a vote of the board of directors. My nephew dispatches his team.
Are you still following me? Jesus. You're good at following. Also, I just noticed that the hands and feet are just inherently bloody on these guys. And yeah, I have to turn off the HUD to get the subtitles. I'm gonna have to kill you. Didn't want to use one of my poison darts. So yeah, here's the hunter's camp. What's left of it after the fire and the destruction by the dinosaurs released. Trying to find a gun. I mean, it's only got one cage, so obviously it's not a one-to-one, but it is supposed to represent that specific camp. And these stegosaurs, they never left after smashing out. Fucking raptor, come on. Okay, here's some more cages with the smaller dinos. I can see you looking at that stegosaur. You want to go after him. You can't get in here. You try to get in here, you're going to crush yourself with physics. Oh no, speaking of physics, clipped into the cage. You know what, actually, this is not the main hunter's camp. Okay, this is just a small section of it. Because there is a bunch of tents with the locked boxes that you need the keys for. Also, what's in this direction? Well, I hear a dinosaur over there, so there is something in that direction. I'm kind of picturing this plains area as being the middle of this map, but I don't think that's actually accurate. Ow. Took down a stegosaur that quickly. I mean, not really that surprising, because the stegosaur can't particularly fight back without the spikes. Are you following me again? No. Here we got Pachycephalosaurus. A dinosaur you don't see much in Trespasser mods. Wow. Are you beelining after that raptor, or are you... Oh. What? What, you want to fight me? Huh? You want to get to a head-to-head challenge? Just run at it with my head out. I wonder if they put the damage strip on the head for that, so they can actually ram you with its head. Okay, I think the main camp should be up here. If we follow this pseudo path. Didn't even listen to their own signs. Hopefully that still does not break the recording on the video, but it says it's still recording, so I'll have to insert that little clip there. Okay, so now we're actually on the other side of the river. Was the river supposed to just end there, or was it another case of like, I don't know where this is going to go on the map, so I'm just going to not bother finishing it? I mean, it's kind of critical, but again, the problem with this project was that it was just too ambitious for what the engine could actually do, so I know how that feeling where you're like, oh, I just got to do this. Oh, you can't do this. Okay. Well, I don't really want to come up with a replacement, so I'm just going to drop that. Nope. That was another edge of the level. And then this is not one of the ones that goes to the forest, so we just get the end screen here that you get on the other levels. Alright, well, let's go back to the camp again. And just cross that direction off of our little internal map for places to go. Alright, so we hit the edge of the level again, and we're back here at the little outpost. Before continuing, I did do a little bit of mapping, so I have some idea where we should go, but we're probably going to wrap up this episode shortly. I tried to get this raptor into this cage. You can see I put a box here that I was going to use to trap it in there, but I just couldn't do it. Either it wouldn't go into the cage, or it would get in the cage and then immediately follow me back out before I could even attempt to close it. So, sadly, that's not going to happen, but now he is over there, obsessed with that stegosaur. The other one seems to not give a shit. And there's also Parasaurolophus wandering around. I think it will attempt to crush the raptor. Though I don't know if it's correctly programmed to do so. It seems to be damaging the raptor just on contact. So maybe it's covered in damage strips to represent it charging. It will also come at us, though. That's empty. We haven't really found any health in this level yet. Because remember, we don't have regenerating health. We have to drink water and eat meat to get strong. So I think we're going to go this way. Which should link back up with where we were earlier. Remember there was that first path I took from the HRS? This, I think, is what connects into that. But there is also a level transition over here if we go too far. Thankfully, I did also run into another one of those keys while I was poking around here. You've also got these guys. I think these are supposed to be pterosaurs, but I can't remember exactly which ceratopsian has that rounded frill. Oh no, did I pass it? I think I passed it because there's a stegosaur. So yeah, we were here earlier. At least I think we were. Okay, I don't know where this thing is that I was thinking was over here. Maybe it's on the other side. Like, I even said I mapped this out. Maybe I went too far. There was a nest over here somewhere with one of the hunter's bodies in it, and thus one of the hunter's keys. It might be over here. No, it wouldn't be this far. What is going on over there? That Parasaurolophus is still alive. Parasaurolophus. Pachycephalosaurus is still alive. Alright. See, like, in my memory, because of course some time has passed between recording the rest of the episode and now, it was right here is where the nest was, up against this cliff. But apparently I'm remembering wrong. It might actually be on the other side of this little valley. I do actually wonder, on the technical side, how many more, like, polygons did the JPDS models, or not JPDS, sorry, the Operation Genesis models have versus the original Trespasser models? Because I assume there's not the hugest gap, since, you know, it was a whole generation past when Trespasser came out, but it was for a park management game, and thus, you know, dinosaur models were not super high detail. Okay, the nest is actually over here. I do remember this. So if we go too far into this forested area, I think we will hit a transition, but not for a while. It's only when you start to see a big density of coniferous trees. So yeah, we got these little guys, the Coelophysis. Coelophysis?
God, it's a nest.
There's another one of the eggs we would have had to take. It's just a fucking emote on it.
AS still missing.
I was gonna say nice helmet, but it came right off. I thought I'd be able to pick up his head with it. Take his key. Marden's key. And take his M16. It seems a little rattly. I think this one is also awkward to use, but not as awkward. Yeah, so this over here, this is the path that I think leads back to the Hillside Research Station, though there's also a road that connects to it. So I think this is one of the exits from that path. And I think the road is over here. Maybe not. Oh, no, I think that's it right there. So I'm hoping there isn't a body in kind of this pair of corridors leading back to the HRS, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is. And ultimately, I don't think I'm going to bother trying to find all of them, because I don't care that much. So yeah, this road leads directly back to the HRS. And I'm pretty sure if we follow it this way, it'll lead us straight into the forest. Yeah, you can see the trees starting to become more numerous over there, so we're not going to go that way either. But I hate that I have to, like, dodge the edges of the map. Though I guess I should be grateful that this got released at all, because even if it wasn't released in the most playable friendly state, you know, with the way the maps are cut up and everything, the fact that it was released at all is more than it seemed like initially. Especially these later maps when there wasn't a team anymore. I am looking forward to being done with JPDS and never have anyone ask me about it again, because it's done. I don't even know how completable Forest is. Like, I feel like that map is a similar situation to the last map of the Trescom Ops thing, where it was never really finished being fleshed out, because by that point, nobody but Drac was working on the project, and he didn't want to finish it, because obviously they couldn't do what they originally wanted to do with the full scope of the project. Okay, so I don't know what's over there, but we have one more location we're going to hit before we end this first episode of Trails, which is back over towards the camp. I think I might have got turned around. Pretty sure it was over here. Okay, there's the nest right there, so yeah, it's over here. Where it seems like this music trigger will trigger every time we come back here. I really wish that this was loadable in CE, because it would look so much better. But it's very dependent on some features of the ATX patch, so that's why you can't really convert it over. And it's another thing that's not going to get done. Kind of concerning, though, because at the time of recording this, the Trescom site is currently gone. Like, not only is it down, but it actually leads to a, like, client login page for what I assume is the server host for it, so that's concerning. I hope it's not dead. Because if it is, these will be the... Oh, okay. The place you want to go is over here, because there's the camp, so we've circled back around again. But yeah, because if it is, then, you know, I'm not really going to run out of Trespasser videos for a bit, because I've got a whole bunch of maps saved. But that doesn't mean I'll lose all the context for those maps, so I can't look them up and be like, oh, it's by this person, and this is what it's about. Plus, that site has been around for a very long time, like 25 years, I think? Almost as long as Trespasser's initial release. So, to lose that much internet history is always shitty. Especially when it comes completely by surprise. There was no mention of hosting problems or anything. But it would really suck if whoever was footing the bill is finally like, nah, I don't want to pay for it anymore. The site's dead. I'm done with Trespasser. So we've got this cave system over here. I didn't really poke my nose in.
Oh god, it's a nest.
I love how many times that line's gonna pop up in this map. I figured from seeing all the bones that we might find one of the hunters here. This does not seem to be one of them, though, because there's no key. Oh. And what are you supposed to be, son? I was gonna say baby Tyrannosaur. Oh! It's perfect with that sound clip. So yeah, it doesn't really look like a Tyrannosaur, but based on that voice line right there from Lost World, that is supposed to be the juvenile T-Rex. Its cast having fallen off after its leg recovered. We could just murder it. You know, we've got 100 bullets in this gun. But I'm gonna try to... I'm gonna do something bold. Ow.
Ow!
Okay. I've made a terrible mistake, and now I need to do the thing that I said I was gonna do even more. I need to take that meat and consume it. Just eat this fucking raw meat chunk from the floor of a T-Rex nest. Alright, I lost more health than I gained there. So that was a bad idea. kind of funny to me, though, that in the first level, we had to deal with the deadly DX virus, which was absolute bullshit. Like, you know, I get the idea, but it was not a fun gameplay mechanic. Oh, there's a key here.
Sullivan RM.
But yet, you can just eat raw meat and it's no big deal. Sullivan's key. Oh, he had shades, but they fell off. Can I? Be great if you could just hit this and wear them. Okay. There's an MP5 here. I don't want your sunglasses. Or your ribcage. So this is 150, so maybe we'll take this instead of the M16. Why is the ammo capacity so janked up in JPDS, though? Like, it seems like all the guns we find have way expanded magazine capacities over what they should be able to. Guess the other T-Rexes are out right now. We haven't seen any T-Rexes in this map. Also, sadly, this was before the Lost World RV model was made and released on Trescom. So we're not going to see that in here either, even though that should be kind of around. Well, I guess it wouldn't really be kind of around, because half of it fell off the cliff. Ooh. Log emerges from the swamp of the ground. Alright, so I think I know a good stopping point if I'm going the right way. The long grass tells me that I'm probably not going the right way.
The hunters scattered, their prearranged hunting routes forgotten. Only a third of their number appeared at the rendezvous.
Never mind, we did actually find it. So this is the full hunter's camp. Just got this weird... I don't know what this was, like a wire fence originally? But this is kind of the main feature of this map. Alright, so this is what the keys are for. Sullivan's artifact. So yeah, there's a...
Known as the Maharaja to his fellows, highly skilled, but only works alone. He was meant to radio for picking up from the comm station.
There's a chest for each of the named hunters, and a corpse attached to that chest somewhere in the map. I assume they're all in this map, and not, you know, inaccessible in other maps. But I don't know if we can do anything with these artifacts, or if they're just like the Easter egg, or just like the egg hunt from the Hillside Research Station, completely unfinished and pointless. But we're going to end it here before we explore the camp further, and then next time we'll begin our hunt for the rest of the keys and see if we can do anything with it. Hold on, let's take care of this raptor first.
Headshot.
He's taking cover. Also, actually proving to be kind of hard to hit with all his limping around. I don't know if I killed him or if he tripped and hit his head, and that finished him off. Anyway, so I'll see you next time when we continue with JPDS Trails and try to wrap up this map, find all these bodies, and then see if we move on to the final map of JPDS Forest. But until then, take care, everyone.